Hey guys, so tonight I'm going to be talking about a holiday that's coming up. Now you might think I'm going to be talking about Yule, which technically I am, because the holiday that I'm going to talk about tonight, which is called Mother's Night, is connected to Yule. Now, this is a holiday that was brought to my attention just a few months ago when I was actually on the Folk podcast, which is hosted by Jacob, who's the Wisdom of Odin here on YouTube, and his lovely co hosts. I had so much fun talking to those guys. I will link both Jacob's channel down below and the episode of the Folk podcast that they happen to be a guest on. So, to give just a quick context, in the in the episode, we were discussing the goddess Frigg, and Jacob had asked me if I had intended on celebrating Mother's Night. And at that point in time, I didn't know anything about it. It just hadn't come across my path. So I decided to look into it shortly after that filming, and it seemed to really resonate with me. So I really wanted to talk about it as it's coming up, and hopefully it will resonate with some of you. Now, I am going to go into just a quick description of what Mother's Night is, and then there's a few synchronicities to my personal path that I also want to share in this video. So it's going to be a little informative, generalized, and then a lot of it's going to be kind of my own personal thoughts and opinions, um, as are most of my videos. But basically, Mother's Night is sacred to Frigg and the Disir. Now, the Disir are something else that I also recently came across in my studies as I dive deeper into the Norse myth. And it was something that really also resonated with me quite a bit. The Disir are your ancestral mothers or your ancestral female lineage, and they basically are protective spirits. And in my own personal experience, losing my own mother, that's something that's very powerful to me. So I was really moved. Really, it really struck a chord with me learning that about the Disir. So it says it is held on December 20th, or on the eve of the winter solstice, beginning the 12 nights celebration of Yule, which is usually held between December 20th to the 31st, although it kind of varies tradition to tradition. Um, but it is sacred to Frigg because she is the All Mother. And before I go into Mother's Night and kind of how I intend on practicing it, because please know that this will be my first time doing it. So I can't give you any of my own experiences because I haven't had them. I can only give you my plans. So um, you know, do what you will with that. So I have been meaning to make a video on Frigg for a little while. She came into my life just about a year ago, and it's just interesting that we have Mother's Night, which is celebrated around Yule, and it was just before Yule last year that Frigg was brought to my attention in a very interesting way. My good friend Trish, who is BeanbagHagWag here on YouTube, and I will link her channel down below as well. Um, I was discussing with her one day, sort of confiding in the sense that the holidays are very difficult for me, especially now since losing my mother, and really having that um, absence of my mother to guide me through as I navigate motherhood. And I have two young sons, and it's been really difficult to not have her guidance. And so Trish had said, well, maybe you need a mother goddess to go to help guide you through this. And I realized that that was Frigg's way of getting my attention. Coincidentally, also, friend Trish has worked with Frigg rather extensively. So it was almost as though Frigg was sort of speaking through her. And I found that really, really powerful. So I set up an altar to her, and I've been slowly building my relationship and my connection to Frigg, really mostly in the sense of having that motherly energy, and especially going to that motherly energy when I'm struggling with motherhood. So now having this, also this concept of my Disir as well, that continues to strengthen this need for this. Um, so I'm really excited to practice Mother's Night and to do a ritual to honor Frigg and all that she's given me, and to honor my family, um, my mother, and both my grandmothers are actually still with me. They have not passed, which is remarkable considering they're both about 90 now. But I lost my mother a couple of years ago to cancer, as you guys know. So, um, and I have memories of my great grandmother as well. There's actually a photo of her on my altar for the dead behind me. So I'm very excited to honor that. And I'm very excited to also honor, again, my mother, because growing up, every good experience that I had with the holidays all came from her. It was all her doing everything, making it magical and wonderful. And all of my good memories are, she's the center of it all. So this is a way that I can honor her. And this is a way that I can honor Frigg and everything that she's done for me. Now, how exactly is Mother's Night practiced? I think it really depends. My intentions are to basically do a lot of probably what I do around Samhain, which is sit and to give an offering to Frigg specifically and to call her in, but also to give an offering to my beloved dead, which in my motherly ancestral lineage, that would be my mother and my great grandmothers for the time. Um, and all of the women that have gone before me to make it so that I could be here. That is a powerful thing, and that's something that I'm very excited to honor. So it doesn't have to be elaborate, but that is my plan, is to give an offering, call them in, sit with them, honor them, maybe even make food that was one of my one of my mother's favorite dishes or something. Um, Arwen is hanging out on me. But the other interesting thing, and this is sort of a synchronistic thing that I do want to bring up in this video. God, I cannot talk, guys. It probably took me 3 or 4 takes to get this video started. I'm just rolling with it. I apologize. So, in a blog post where I found more information on Mother's Night, there is something that I found very interesting. It's I'm just going to read this little section here from the author on this blog post, which I will share the link to in the description box below for that as well. It says, I personally theorize that St. Lucia's Day, celebrated primarily in Scandinavian countries, occurs on December 13th and features a female light bringer, maybe a Christianized remnant of an ancient Disir related ritual. The Christianized St. Lucia Day may have pagan origins related to the figure of Lucy. So the reason why I found that so interesting is because when I was a little girl, one of my favorite books to read was the American Girl novels, chapter books, novels, have you? And my favorite American Girl was Kirsten, because I am of Swedish descent. My great grandparents immigrated from Sweden. So my grandfather used to tell me a lot about um, Swedish customs, as I kind of was really interested in learning about my ancestral lineage. Little did I know that would end up playing a major part in my life later on, as I stepped very deeply into ancestral veneration in my spiritual practice and stuff. And it's just so funny because I say little did I know, but I honestly think there's a big part of me that did know. Well, through the pagan lens, the St. Lucia's Day just it I loved the idea of it. And I had wished that my family had practiced it, but my family was not Christian. Um, and just didn't do that. But I basically the concept is that the daughter in the family will adorn a white gown with a red sash and wear a crown of evergreens with candles. And she brings food to her parents and family in the morning. And there's like these special buns that are given, and you know, in the in the American Girl books, the ones for Kirsten, she does this because she's a Swedish immigrant. So if anyone's read the American Girl novels, I'm sure you have. I'm pretty sure you'll know what I'm talking about. Um, I just remember really being very fond of that as a kid, and I'm realizing that that is just so unbelievably pagan. And I could do a whole video on all the things looking back into my childhood and realizing that just I was always this way. But to me that just adds another facet to honoring my ancestral lineage, just because I am of Scandinavian descent. And like I said, my grandfather used to talk to me all the time about Swedish customs, and sometimes he talked about the Norse myths, and it was just interesting. So when I had read that little piece there, I was just sort of elated, I guess. And that's my own personal experiences. But um, so my plan this year is to do Mother's Night on December 20th, because that's when it occurs, and then do Yule on December 21st. I think that my Yule ritual will most likely be just welcoming the longest night of the year and honoring the gods and doing an offering. That's kind of what it was last year. I basically just sat with my drinking horn and had a drink with the gods. Um, and I think that's something that we don't, we tend to kind of forget, is that you don't have to go all out, and you can just sit in sacred space and welcome them and feel their presence and move forward. But I did want to share a little bit about Mother's Night, and I did want to share a little bit about the interesting synchronicities about my own personal experiences and how excited I am to work with it, and how to celebrate it and experience it, and how excited I am to honor Frigg and all that she has given me, because she has been able to heal me in ways that I don't really think was possible in any other way. Um, at least through the lens of a goddess, and I'm grateful to that. So, yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed watching this. I hope I gave you enough of the cliff notes of Mother's Night. Like I said, I have um not done a ritual yet. I've not celebrate Mother's Night yet. That will be coming on December 20th for my first time doing so, but I wanted to talk about it and bring it to anyone's attention who maybe would love to celebrate it as well, and celebrate their own this year and give an offering to the All Mother. So yeah, I think that's all I wanted to say tonight. As always, thank you for watching. Blessed be.